Hey guys, Javier here with the real Javier Novoa. And I just wanted to read a little passage here from a great book that we've read a lot on this channel, How to Earn a Fortune by the billionaire Boris Berezovsky. And it had a theme in it that we touched upon a lot on our channel in my over 600 videos that you can see. And I'd recommend that you do watch those videos because in every one of those videos we have explained in different ways interiorism, which is the philosophy that the inner creates the outer because the inner is the outer. There's really no difference. And so you can create the life that you want without struggling, without effort, as it were, from within. And these are just little nuggets, little tenets that help you to understand this more. And Berezovsky talks about, he says, why does the treasure in speaking more widely wealth go to fools? Because he's commenting on an old Russian saying. He says it takes a fool to find treasure. And if you've been alive long enough like I have, you see this over and over again. You see the most foolish of people with half your intelligence, find their ways to the top, whether it be entrepreneurship, whether it be within companies. And I've observed this over and over, but it's really explained by spiritual teachers. It is explained here by Berezovsky. It takes a fool to find a treasure, goes a national saying written by the poet Yershov. This is an amazing observation. It appears on the first glance completely illogical and absurd, but it is true. Why does the treasure and speaking more widely wealth go to fools? Their evangelical definition as poor in spirit is less offensive, but the meaning is the same. Jesus, of course, said, blessed are the poor in spirit, and that really means blessed are the fools. But you'll see here that foolish is not a pejorative expression. The fool has one curious ability, starting a thing. He does not think of all the coming difficulties and obstacles that somebody clever will place in his mental path beforehand. Thanks to this, the difficult turns out to be easy for the fool. But it might seem that this is a peculiarity of his. Even if you do not see a wall, it does not mean that you will not hit your head on it. So we see the fool going after something and we say, well, he's going to hit his head on the wall. However, what a miracle. The fool, not seeing the wall, walks through it without even noticing it. And not only in fairy tales, but constantly around you in life. Success to him is taken for granted, and apparently the wall, well visible to clever people, was in truth imaginary, self-generated in consciousness, illusory. Why aren't all of the MBAs that I know and that you know, guys, billionaire entrepreneurs? Many of them are living comfortably, maybe not anymore so much because there's a glut of them, at least in Texas, but many of them live comfortably. But why are not all MBAs millionaire, billionaire entrepreneurs? I mean, they know everything there is to know about business. Try to answer that question for me. And why are many of the wealthiest entrepreneurs, millionaires and billionaires, not even educated? Many of them didn't even finish high school. If you look at Richard Branson and the guy around the corner that owns the tire shop, guys, and makes a very good living. So this quality, the falling of luck, especially of the commercial kind, into the hands of spiritually dull types, or we could say intellectually dull types, is not randomness or heaven's favoritism. The world depends on our way of seeing it, and the more a spiritually refined type sees obstacles for himself in the world, the more of them will, per one's order, appear. Again, you're sending, when you have a thought or a feeling, you're sending an order to the universe. And the universe will just say, well, there you go. For example, if you task a refined intellect to start trading, I've seen this time and again, guys. He will come up with thousands of reasons for failure beforehand. Unfair compacts in the market, the power of wholesale suppliers, racketeering, an unstable and greedy government, and a multitude of others. He'll say, I just can't do it. But we often see how the neighbor of this intellectual, having maybe even gone to school for developmentally challenged children, special ed maybe, begins a trading business and runs it successfully because he does not think of the coming difficulties thanks to his stupidity and underdeveloped imagination. You know, I did an interview on this channel with the author of GTD, the writer of the book and the maker of the program GTD, David Allen. And he talks about in this book why the most spiritual and intelligent types are most likely to procrastinate. Because we can think, for example, taxes, it's going to be hard to do my taxes. And what if I get something wrong? Then I could go to jail, blah, blah, blah. While the stupid person just says thump, thump, and duh, and just does it. So can IQ be an impediment, guys? Could if you let it. We watched The Fool with Schadenfreude. He does not see the bear trap. He'll end up in it any second. We follow in his footsteps and end up in the long-expected bear trap. What is this about? We simply live in different worlds. More on this later, of course. Bashar talks about the fact that we all live in different universes. He goes through different sayings here, but the point is, guys, don't overthink things. We could even say don't keep watching videos, don't keep reading books, trying to prepare. When you are ready to go after your intention, guys, you have an intention, of course, you set it, you embody that, you take on the state, and then you simply, as the great Vadim Zeland in Reality Transurfing says, put one foot in front of the other. Don't keep prevaricating and reading and watching videos. Just go out and do it. And if you have this tool of interiorism, your intuition will never steer you wrong, and it will always lead you to the absolute perfect next step. Abraham Hicks always says, take the next logical step. So just take the next logical step. And don't overthink it, guys. I hope y'all had a great holiday season and a very happy new year. We're going to be making a lot more videos in the week coming up, which begins the year 2026. Much love and appreciation, guys, and all the best.